You were always plan B. He was plan A. She snapped when I asked why she still texted her ex. I went quiet, turned around, and began folding my shirts into a bag. She grabbed my arm, saying, "Why are you packing?" I said, letting plan A have his spot back. She started backtracking, saying she didn't mean it. I pulled away, zipped the bag, and left. I, 29, male, had been with Emma, 27, for 2 years. I was folding laundry in the bedroom on a Sunday afternoon when I asked her why she still texted her ex every day. She looked up from her phone, eyes cold, and snapped. You were always plan B. He was plan A. The room went silent. I didn't yell. I didn't argue. I turned around, walked to the closet, and pulled my duffel bag from the top shelf. I started folding shirts into it. Slowly, carefully. She watched from the doorway, confused at first, then panicked. Why are you packing? I zipped the bag closed, letting Plan A have his spot back. Her face drained of color. Wait, I didn't mean it like that. I slung the bag over my shoulder and looked at her. You meant exactly that. The door clicked behind me. I didn't look back. What she didn't know was this. 2 nights before, I checked her phone. 247 messages with Derek in the past 6 months. Timestamps during my work shifts. I miss you, sent at 1:14 in the morning while I paid her car insurance. I didn't need to argue. The receipts would speak louder than any fight. But walking out was the easy part. Staying gone would prove harder. Emma and I met through mutual friends at a rooftop party in June 2023. She was funny, confident, and recently out of what she called a toxic relationship with her ex, Derek. I didn't ask too many questions. I just listened. I was patient. I thought that's what she needed. 3 months in, her lease ended. She asked if she could move into my apartment temporarily while she looked for a new place. I said yes. Temporary became permanent. She never looked for another place. The red flags started small. Her phone was always face down on the table. She'd get defensive when it buzzed. It's just Derek checking on his dog, she'd say. I'm keeping Bella for him until he finds a pet-friendly place. The dog stayed with us for 7 months. Derek texted daily about Bella's food, vet appointments, grooming schedules. I paid the vet bills. $340 in November alone. Emma said she'd reimburse me. She never did. By month 5, I was covering 90% of our expenses. Rent, utilities, groceries, her car insurance. She said she was between jobs, but spent most afternoons at coffee shops with her laptop, working on a freelance project that never seemed to materialize. When I suggested she apply to a few places I'd seen hiring, she said I was being controlling. I wasn't controlling. I was tired. Her phone habits got worse. She'd take it into the bathroom, shower with it on the counter, answer texts at 2 in the morning, and tell me it was her mom having insomnia. I checked the phone bill once out of curiosity. Her mom's number appeared 6 times that month. One other number appeared 89 times. I didn't confront her. I watched. I started noticing patterns. When I came home early from work, she'd close her laptop quickly. When I asked about her day, her answers were vague. Just errands. Coffee with a friend. Ran into someone from college. One night in late January, I suggested couples therapy. Not because I thought we were broken, but because I wanted to discuss boundaries. She laughed. You're insecure. I'm not doing therapy because you can't handle me having friends. I didn't push it, but I stopped ignoring the signs. The messages never stopped. Neither did the excuses. Then, 2 nights before the laundry conversation, I stopped watching and started confirming. Emma left her phone on the nightstand while she showered. It buzzed. I glanced over without thinking. Derek's name lit up the screen. The preview showed 4 words. You know I miss you. I didn't unlock her phone. I didn't need to. I opened my laptop and logged into our phone plan account. We were on a family plan under my name. Full message logs were available for download. I clicked the export button. A spreadsheet appeared. 247 messages between Emma and Derek in the past 6 months. I scrolled through the timestamps. Messages sent at 11:47 in the morning when I was at work. At 3:22 in the afternoon during her so-called errands. At 1:14 in the morning when she told me she was scrolling Instagram in the living room because she couldn't sleep. I cross-referenced the data with our shared location history. We'd added each other to a family tracking app when she moved in, mostly so I could see if she needed a ride when her car broke down. I pulled up November. 3 visits to an apartment complex on Riverside Avenue. Each visit lasted between 2 and 4 hours. I knew that address. Derek lived there. She told me she was at the gym those days. I opened her gym's app. 0 check-ins on November 7th, November 15th, or November 23rd. The app tracked every visit. She hadn't been to the gym in 6 weeks. I didn't confront her. I saved everything. I exported the message log as a PDF. I screenshot the location history. I saved the gym check-in records. I created a folder on my Dropbox labeled Records and uploaded everything with timestamps and dates. When Emma came out of the shower, towel wrapped around her hair, I smiled. "How was your day?" She kissed my forehead. "Boring. Just errands." I nodded. The spreadsheet was already backed up in 3 places. I gave her 2 days to come clean. She didn't. So I asked the question that would end everything. Sunday afternoon. I was in the bedroom folding laundry from the dryer. Emma sat on the couch in the living room, scrolling through her phone. I'd seen Derek's name flash on her screen 3 times in the past hour. I walked out holding a t-shirt. "Can I ask you something?" She didn't look up. "Sure." I kept my tone light. "Casual. Why do you still text Derek every day?" Her head snapped up. "I don't text him every day." I folded the shirt slowly, smoothing out the creases. "Your phone says otherwise." Her face flushed red. "Are you tracking me?" I stayed calm. I checked the phone bill. 247 messages in 6 months. "That's more than you text me." She stood up. "So what? We're friends. I'm allowed to have friends." I nodded. "Friends don't say I miss you at 1 in the morning." Silence. Then she exploded. "You want the truth? Fine. You were always plan B. He was plan A. I stayed because you were stable. Safe. You paid the bills and didn't ask questions. But he's who I wanted." The words hit like cold water. I didn't react. I didn't yell. I turned around, walked back to the bedroom, opened the closet, and grabbed my duffel bag from the top shelf. She followed me to the doorway, watching. "What are you doing?" I pulled 3 shirts off hangers and started folding them into the bag. She stepped closer. "Why are you packing?" I added 2 pairs of jeans, my phone charger, my laptop. I zipped the bag closed and slung it over my shoulder, letting Plana have his spot back. Her face drained of all color. She grabbed my arm. "Wait." I didn't mean it. I was angry. I didn't mean it like that. I pulled my arm away gently. "You meant exactly that." I walked past her toward the front door. She followed me into the hallway. "Please. We can talk about this." I stopped at the top of the stairs and turned to face her one last time. "There's nothing to talk about." I walked out the door. She followed me to the hallway, grabbing my arm. I didn't stop. Update 1. Emma grabbed my arm again at the bottom of the stairwell. "Please. We can talk about this." I pulled away. "There's nothing to talk about. You said what you meant." She started crying. Mascara running. Voice shaking. I was angry. I didn't mean it. I stopped at the door to the parking lot. Looked at her. "Emma, you texted him 247 times while I paid your bills. You visited his apartment 3 times in November when you told me you were at the gym. You said you were between jobs, but had time for 4-hour visits with Plan A. This isn't anger. This is the truth." Her face went pale. "How do you know about his apartment?" I didn't answer. I pushed the door open and walked to my car. She called after me. "Where are you going?" I tossed the bag into the trunk. "Hotel tonight. Then I'm calling the landlord tomorrow." She froze. "What do you mean?" I opened the driver's door. "My name's on the lease. Not yours. You have 30 days to find somewhere else." I started the engine. She stood in the parking lot, phone in hand, staring. I pulled out of the lot. In the rearview mirror, I watched her get smaller. By the time I reached the interstate, my phone buzzed 6 times. 3 voicemails. 1 missed call from her mom. I blocked all of them. I checked into a hotel off exit 42. The room was small, clean, quiet. I sat on the bed and opened my laptop. I drafted an email to the landlord with 30 days notice. Attached a copy of the lease showing only my name. Scheduled it to send Monday morning at 8. What Emma didn't know was this. Her friend Rachel had been on speakerphone during the entire Plan B confession. Emma had called Rachel while I was folding laundry, complaining about me, asking too many questions. Rachel heard everything. Rachel's text arrived at 11:47 that night. I heard everything. "I'm so sorry." She's a liar. Update 2. Rachel didn't keep quiet. She called 3 mutual friends that night. By Monday morning, my phone had 11 new messages. "Dude, Rachel told us what Emma said. That's psychotic. I always thought she was shady about Derek. You paid for everything? That's messed up." I didn't respond. I didn't need to defend myself. The receipts had already done that. Tuesday morning, I went back to the apartment while Emma was out. She'd sent 4 texts asking to talk in person. I ignored all of them. I grabbed my remaining clothes, my documents, my laptop bag. I walked through the apartment taking photos. The couch I'd bought for $890. The TV I'd paid $640 for. The kitchen table. The bed frame. All of it came from my account. I emailed the photos to myself. Then I called the landlord. Mark, it's me. I'm moving out. Emma's staying, but she's not on the lease. I'm giving you 30 days notice per the contract. Mark paused. Is she planning to take over the lease? I shrugged, even though he couldn't see me. You'd have to ask her. But I'm done. Understood. I'll send over the exit paperwork. By Wednesday, Emma's world was crumbling. Rachel told me Emma had texted Derek that morning. The message said, I left him for you. We can finally be together. Derek's response came 2 hours later. Rachel screenshot it and sent it to me. You told him he was Plan B? That's cold. I'm not interested. Emma called me 14 times that day. I didn't answer. I didn't block her yet. I wanted to see how desperate she'd get. Thursday morning, Emma's mom called. I made the mistake of answering. Update 3. Her mom's voice was icy. Sharp. You're really going to throw her out? I kept my tone calm. Professional. I'm not throwing her out. I'm moving out. She can stay if she qualifies for the lease. Silence on the other end. Then, you know she can't afford that alone. I nodded to myself. Then she should have thought about that before calling me Plan B. Her mom hung up. An hour later, Emma posted on social media. I didn't see it at first. Rachel sent me a screenshot. The post read, sometimes you don't realize someone's true colors until they abandon you during a rough time. I gave 2 years to someone who threw me away like trash. But I'll be okay. I always am. Within 30 minutes, Rachel commented publicly. Really? You told him he was Plan B while texting your ex 247 times. He paid your bills for a year. Stop lying. 3 other mutual friends piled on. Screenshots started appearing in the comments. Emma's text to Derek. I miss you. I think about you constantly. I'm only with him because it's easy. The post was deleted in 90 minutes. But the screenshots had already been shared. Copied. Spread. By Friday, Emma's smear campaign was dead on arrival. Her friends stopped responding to her messages. Her Instagram stories, which used to get 40 or 50 views, were down to single digits. That same afternoon, my bank called. Sir, there was an attempted transaction on your joint account ending in 4392. The charge was declined because the account is closed. I closed it Tuesday. What was the charge? $340 to a veterinary clinic. I smiled. Thanks for letting me know. Emma texted me an hour later. You closed our account? I replied once. My account. You never contributed. Then I blocked her. By the second week, Emma stopped fighting. Reality was setting in. 2 weeks after I left, Rachel texted me an update. Emma's moving back in with her mom. She couldn't get approved for the lease. I wasn't surprised. I'd seen her credit score once when we tried to finance a car together. 512. She'd maxed out 2 credit cards and never told me. When the dealership ran her credit, the application was denied on the spot. The landlord had told me privately on a follow-up call. She applied to take over the lease. We denied her. No income. Bad credit. I can't lease to someone with no proof of employment. Emma's social circle had shrunk fast. The friends who saw the text screenshots stopped inviting her to group hangouts. Her Instagram, which used to show daily coffee shop selfies and brunch photos, went silent. No posts. No stories. Just a profile picture from 6 months ago. Derek had blocked her number after she showed up at his apartment unannounced. Rachel told me the story. Emma had driven to his place on a Tuesday night, knocked on his door, and tried to convince him they should give it another shot. He told her to leave. When she refused, he threatened to call the building security. She left crying. Rachel said Emma had called her afterward, sobbing. I made a mistake. I lost everything. Rachel's response was cold. You didn't lose anything. You threw it away. By week 3, Emma had packed up her things. I drove by the apartment once on my way to pick up my mail from the leasing office. The couch I'd bought was gone. She must have sold it. The TV was still mounted on the wall. She'd left the bed frame. On the kitchen counter, visible through the window, sat a folded piece of paper. I walked up to the apartment. The door was unlocked. I pushed it open. The note sat on the counter, my name written on the outside in her handwriting. I unfolded it. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you. I know I messed up. I wish I could take it back. I read it once, folded it back up, walked to the trash bin in the corner, and dropped it inside. Sorry doesn't rebuild 2 years. Sorry doesn't erase Plan B. I didn't feel victorious. I felt nothing. And that was the clearest sign I'd made the right choice. 3 months later, I sat in my new apartment. It was smaller than the old one. 1 bedroom instead of 2. A galley kitchen instead of the open concept setup I'd had before. But it was mine. Completely mine. No shared space. No defensive conversations about phone notifications. No lies about gym visits or errands that took 4 hours. My name was on the lease. Just mine. Emma texted me once in May. I almost deleted it without reading, but curiosity got the better of me. I know I don't deserve a response, but I need to say this. You were never Plan B in my heart. I was scared of how much I cared about you, so I kept Derek around as a safety net. I thought if I had him in the background, I wouldn't get hurt if things didn't work out with us. I was wrong. I hurt you instead. I'm so sorry. I read it twice. Then I deleted it. Apologies don't change history. They don't erase 247 text messages or 3 apartment visits or the words, "You were always Plan B." They don't refund the $12,000 I spent keeping her afloat for a year. Rachel told me in June that Emma was seeing someone new. Some guy from her old job. He has no idea what she's capable of. I didn't warn him. That wasn't my responsibility anymore. Everyone learns their own lessons. In July, I started dating again. Her name was Claire. We met at a bookstore. She was looking for a cookbook. I recommended one. We talked for 20 minutes in the aisle. She gave me her number before I even asked. On our 3rd date, we were at dinner when her phone buzzed on the table. She glanced at it, smiled, and said, "My friend wants to know if the food here is as good as I said it was." Then she turned the screen toward me without me asking. Showed me the text. No hesitation. No defensiveness. That's when I knew. Some people keep you as a backup plan. They hold on to exes like insurance policies. They take your money, your time, your patience, and call it love. Others make you their priority. They show you their phone without you asking. They talk about you to their friends with pride, not secrecy. They contribute. They show up. I'd wasted 2 years on the wrong kind of person, but I'd never waste another day. Emma taught me the difference between someone who wants you and someone who needs you around. The first is love. The second is convenience. I chose to stop being convenient. And 3 months into dating Claire, when she asked if I wanted to add her to my lease when it renewed, I said yes. Because this time, I wasn't Plan B. I wasn't even part of a plan. I was just someone she wanted. And that made all the difference.